Hello, welcome everyone. Today let us discuss about scanf function. These are the programs which we have seen in previous videos. Here in these two examples, we assign values to the variables while writing the code. But if we have a requirement to give value for any variable during execution time, then we can use scanf function. So using scanf, input data can be entered into that memory, into the variable at program runtime. Syntax is like scanf within double quotes conversion specifications and then address. Here we need to give address of the variables. Here one example is var is a variable of type int and scanf as it is an integer type, conversion specification should be %d and comma. Here ampersand represents address of variable. So here variable and variable address. And mainly this ampersand gives starting address of the variable. For example, if you take this var, it is an integer type variable. It has 4 bytes memory. So this ampersand var represent the starting address of that variable. So here if this is a memory allocation of var from byte 0 to byte 3, totally 4 bytes, and for example byte 0 address is some 1000, then byte 1 address will be 1001, 1002, 1003, and here this 1000 will be represented by ampersand var. But we should not use ampersand before string variable, because if you have observed while discussing data types also, we did not discuss about any string type. Basically in C programming we don't have a data type of string. String is nothing but a character array. Array name itself represents the start address. So that is why we should not give ampersand sign before string variable. Similar to printf, scanf also have conversion specifications to specify type and size of the data. And each conversion specification starts with percentage symbol. So %c is used to read a single character from console during program execution. %d is used to read signed decimal integer. And here coming to %i, if we use prefix 0x, that means we are reading a signed hexadecimal integer. If the input number have 0 as a prefix, that means it is a octal integer. If there is no prefix means it is a signed decimal integer. And %u is used to read an unsigned decimal integer. %o is used to read unsigned octal integer. %small x and %capital X are used to read unsigned hexadecimal integers. And %e, both uppercase and lowercase, %z are used to read floating point number from console. And if you want to understand the difference between these four, please refer C programming part 2 video. And %s is used to read a string from the console. Now let us see how to read different type of values while executing a program. For example, if there is a variable marks which is of integer type. As it is integer type, we should use %d as conversion specification, and that conversion specification should be enclosed within double quotes, comma, address of variable marks. So meaning of this statement is read value from the console and the value is of type integer and that will be stored into address of marks variable. And this is a printf statement to print whatever the value we entered. So here entered marks %d conversion specification and it is used to print the value of marks. Now let us build and run the program. See, it shows empty screen. As we already discussed, execution will start from main. The first statement is declaration of a variable and second statement is scanf. That means it is expecting some value from the console. So that is why here the cursor is blinking and console is empty here. And this scanf is expecting an integer value. So for example, if it is some 120, we enter some 120 to the address of marks variable and this printf statement is used to print whatever the value we entered. Enter marks, colon and 120. But when you run the program, it shows an empty screen, then it will be difficult you to understand what is the step that you need to do. So it is always advised to give proper instructions on the console. So for that I am adding one more statement here. Printf. So enter your marks. The first statement is this one. Now build the program once. Now on the console it shows enter your marks, so that it is easy to understand what is the next step that we need to do. So here I am entering some 150 and output is enter marks 150. This is how we read a decimal integer using scanf. And similarly, to read a character, for example some character variable ch. So as it is a character type, I am using data type char here and enter a character. So as it is a character type, we should use conversion specification %c and variable name ch. So on output screen it expects an input value of character type. So I am giving some character r. So entered character is r. To read value of floating type, first we need to declare a floating variable. For example some height. So enter your height. As it is floating type, we can use %f and address of variable. It is %height. Conversion specification should be %f and variable name. Okay, some 5.6. So entered height is 5.6 followed by 5 zeros. As it is a floating type, there will be 6 digits after decimal point. And as we already discussed, there is no data type of string in C programming. String is nothing but an array of character data type. So some name, char name. Here we can give some 20. Meaning of this line is name is a variable of array type and size will be 20. It can have maximum 20 characters. Enter your name. As it is string, %s shall be used as a conversion specification, and we already discussed for string data type we should not give ampersand symbol, because as it is a array and array name itself represents the starting address, we should not give ampersand symbol before the string name. Entered name is and specification, conversion specification %s and name. So enter your name, some A, B, C and press enter. Nothing but end of that string. So entered name is ABC. Like this we read a string while executing program. Now let us see how to enter more than one value by using single scanf. For example, if we have two integer variables, subject1 marks and subject2 marks, then in scanf within the double quotations we can give conversion specification %d and %d as both are integer type, comma address of first variable and address of second variable. And here we have printf statement to print entered marks value. Build and run the program. So enter two subject marks. Example some 58, enter, and some 90. Subject 1 marks 58 and subject 2 marks 90. Previously we separated values by pressing enter key. We also can use space. For example some 74 space 87, enter. So the first value will be stored into subject 1 marks and second value will be stored into subject 2 marks. So like this we can read more than one value using a single scanf. Now let us write similar program to read more than one character using a single scanf function. Here we have two character variables and in the scanf we used %c conversion specifications to read values to these character variables, and we also have a printf statement to print whatever the values we entered and stored into memory. Let us build and run the program. So here enter two characters. For example some A. See here what happened. It did not allow us to enter second character because after A we press on enter key, and that enter key will be stored into input buffer. So that will be considered as second character. So that is the reason we were unable to enter the second character here. So this problem happens only to the characters and strings. And how to resolve this problem is, here after %c we can give one new line by using /n, so that whatever the enter we are giving on the console will be stored here, and then it allows us to provide one more character value. Now build the program. So A, enter B. See now, so first character is A, and next we press enter, that will be skipped by using this /n, and then B. Or instead /n we also can give one single space here. Let's see how it works. A space B. So now first character is A and second character is B. This space we are ignoring by providing one extra space here after first %c conversion specification, so that we will be able to read n number of characters without causing any issue. So this extra care we need to take for both character variables and string variables. So this was our previous example. When more than one values are entered by using a single scanf, the values can be separated by space, enter or tab. So these are the default, but we also can use a specific characters between conversion specifications as a delimiter. For example, here we have two integer variables, so we have two conversion specifications. So if I run this program, we will separate the values by using space, tab or enter. But we also can use some special character like colon. So now let us see how this works. See, enter two subject marks. So here we need to provide two integer values. Usually we separate those two values by a space or by new line or by a tab. But here we want to separate it by using a colon. For example, some 10 and 15. Now 10 will be stored into subject 1 marks and 15 will be stored into subject 2 marks, and enter here. So subject 1 marks 10 and subject 2 marks 15. We also use other special characters like comma or hyphen. See how. So here we need to separate two values by using a hyphen. Some 54 hyphen 78. So now 54 is subject 1 marks and 78 is subject 2 marks. See, here we have one more example to read more than one value from console using a single scanf. So here we have variables day, month and year. 3 are of integer type, and here in scanf we are using %d conversion specification and separated by a colon. And here we are printing whatever the date we entered. For example, 25th month and some 2022. So this is the date what we entered, and we separated three variable values by using a colon. And if you provide some spaces here, extra spaces, and these will be ignored. Let's see, 20 colon some 6 2022. See, like this. So in this conversion specification, if we give extra spaces, those will be ignored. So this is how we read values during program time using scanf. Though these programs look very simple and easy to understand, when we write, we will definitely face a few issues like compilation errors. And while resolving those errors, we shall understand programming concept in depth. So please write the programs and execute them.